Welcome back to the Cheap Seats, 96.3, WLCNonline.com. Scott Kirby, Jake Johnston.
Good day.
Jake's Furnishings is our location. Looking around, see an awful lot of furniture. I tell you, it's been a while since I've been in here.
We got some stuff going on, man. 'Tis the season. Some tax returns still coming back, and we decided to put a whole bunch on sale. A little factory authorized events. Some of our manufacturers giving us some deeper discounts on some stuff to keep everything moving quick. So, speaking of moving quick, we were talking about it earlier. Anybody, we've got free tickets available for the Rage Arena Football at the U.S. Cellular Coliseum for Friday, April the 12th. If you are interested in tickets, feel free to call 648-5510. That's 648-5510. Again, the Rage Arena Football, or the Edge. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I went last night.
I was going off of what Jeff was saying. Jeff's like, just type it in.
Well, I tell you, it's Bloomington Edge Arena Football. I took Bryson last night.
Okay.
It's a good time. Believe it or not, it's a good atmosphere, and the Cellular Coliseum is just an outstanding facility, and it's football. It's 8-on-8. They play on it's a hockey rink. You know, they got the boards up, but they got turf down.
So was that about 50 yards?
50
then?
yards, and in end zones. So you're talking, and it's a different aspect to the game. It's high paced, high scoring. There's some good hits, and there's some athletes out there.
Get people getting jammed into the seats and whatnot.
Oh yeah, and you got to keep paying attention the whole time. We were second row up.
Yeah. And
you have to watch, because you'll get a football in the face.
Oh jeez.
Or they'll get tackled on the edge. They'll fly over the sides.
Nice.
And if a football goes into the stands, it's yours. And
kind of a nice little bonus there.
It's a good deal. And
so those would be the same tickets then, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, it's all.
Wow.
Yeah, just
okay.
You want to be in the end zones. I don't know how you get those tickets.
Yeah.
Well, they're probably because when they kick their field goals,
right
the balls are right there. But
nice.
when they score a touchdown, the guys, they'll throw footballs in the stands, and then every once in a while you can coax a girl to throw you one. We had a little group of kids, and I think they all got a football.
Cool.
But yeah, it's
well, again,
it's a good time.
If anybody's interested in tickets, feel free to call the radio station, 648-5510. The Edge Arena Football there at the U.S. Cellular Coliseum next Friday, April the 12th.
Yep, 7:05 kickoff.
Nice.
And yeah, it's fun.
Huh, what a good way to have an inexpensive weekend, Go out and have a little fun on Friday and get the weekend going right.
Yeah. Biggest weekend of basketball season this weekend, Final Four weekend. They're down in Atlanta, Georgia. If you guys, callers, you guys want to call in, talk a little sports, phone lines 737-3791. Call in if you something you want to talk about, sports related. Final Four, 2 games tonight, kicking off at 5:09. Louisville versus Wichita State out of the Missouri Valley.
Yep. Big for the Missouri Valley. Love to see one of their teams in the Final Four. Obviously playing extremely good basketball, as well as Louisville. It'll be interesting to see how Louisville bounces back from a loss of one of their players. He wasn't, I guess you wouldn't consider him a key player, but he was definitely a big part of their team, coming off the bench and whatnot. So we'll see what happens there. How they deal with the adversity with that. But Wichita's, they played some good ball, man. They're fun to watch, and it is fun to watch a Missouri Valley team, which you would consider kind of an underdog in any venue like this. It's kind of nice to see them right there.
And I've got to mention Evansville Purple Aces, Jeff Alexander, assistant coach, Jordan Nelson, current player, beat Wichita State twice this year. So had to get that out there. That's a pretty big accomplishment. And, Louisville playing with a lot of emotion right now because of the Kevin Ware incident. Did you see that?
I refuse to see that.
Well, I see it every night. And that happened to a friend of mine in football, high school football. Exact same thing.
Ugh.
And I talked to him a couple of days later, and it kind of brought back some memories. He got tackled. He was on the bottom of the pile. We heard him screaming. We're pulling kids off of him, and he's sitting there holding his leg, and it's it's not even a 90-degree angle. It's like a 45-degree angle, and it was horrible. So that brought back some memories, and that was just a gruesome thing. Louisville playing with a lot of emotion right now, playing for, Kevin Ware. He's from Atlanta, and he's got a lot of publicity. He was on Letterman the other night with the top 10. What was Kevin Ware thinking when he was laying on the floor? So he's taking it in stride. He's had several calls. I guess Oprah called him and Michelle Obama.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it's
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
He's
a tragedy, a tragedy like that, and you get all this. But he's making the best of it. So good luck to him. So that's a 5:09 tip-off. Wichita State, Louisville Cardinals. A winner advances to the final. And the game I'm pretty excited about is Michigan-Syracuse. I think that's going to be a good game. Both teams very athletic, like to get up and down the court.
Yep.
Long. I can see that being just a run-and-gun game. But that Syracuse zone defense is pretty tough.
Syracuse backs down that zone pretty easy, and they are tough. I like how Michigan passes the ball. I like how they move it. To be honest, I kind of like Michigan in the game, and I don't usually, I don't usually go against that zone defense. So, but I do like how Michigan plays, and I'd like to see them advance. Plus, Big Ten.
Big Ten, absolutely. Trey Burke, National Player of the Year.
Yeah.
I thought it would have went to McDermott and Creighton, but I guess, Michigan having a better season,
well, he had a heck of a year, too, and mean, he was by far the leader of the team,
Yeah, absolutely.
So, like you said, they have a heck of a team, and that'll be a fun game. Actually, both of them might be a fun game, and with I could see Wichita State actually pulling off the biggest upset of the year. Right.
Well, I hope not. Bryson has Louisville winning it all.
Yeah.
So I'm cheering for Louisville.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. What did you have for your Final Four?
To be honest, I have Michigan and I believe Louisville still. No, it was Syracuse and Michigan. I didn't have Louisville in there actually after I looked at it last week. So.
Well, I have none.
So. Well.
I had Duke. I had Duke win it all just because I didn't think anybody else would pick them. I knew everybody's on the Louisville bandwagon. But yeah, it's been a fun tournament.
And it's amazing we only have one number one in there.
Yeah.
Which is Louisville, which was the overall number one, which is great to see, But how even everything is and how many teams fell out early and some big upsets, it seems like it's growing every year. You're getting lower seeds and lower seeds moving up and up, which is, for me, that's great. I don't like seeing the number ones win it all the time, unless it was my Illini, but heck, we haven't been there since quite a while.
Well, hey, Jake, we got a caller. Caller?
Yeah, hey, guys.
How's it going?
Hey, what's up? This is Josh.
Hey, Josh, what's going on, buddy?
Currently, I am at the LDC field scouting the 3- and 4-year-old soccer game. We've got my youngest is getting ready to start, and we're just taking in, teaching them a few things here before we see what's going to happen when we get out on the field. How you guys doing?
We're doing good. Beautiful day for some soccer.
Yeah, not too bad. First game for him. Our oldest is a little veteran now, a seasoned veteran of it. But hey, I called in at the basketball. Of course, we've got the matchup between Syracuse and Michigan, as you guys were talking about, I think will be probably your best game. What were your guys' thoughts on it? I didn't hear it. Who are you picking to win, and what about Louisville game also?
Well, I think, Jake, he says he likes Wichita State. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm going Wichita State and Michigan both.
Okay, well, I'm going Louisville and probably Syracuse. I don't know. It's just I'm going the opposite of him.
Which just makes me feel like my picks are cemented.
Just to argue.
Well, what's your view on it? You're the basketball guru.
Of course, I think you have the number one overall seed going against the Cinderella. Well, I love to see Wichita win out of the Valley, of course. Can it happen? I don't know. They're strong. They're tough inside, but the big guy Jang inside for Louisville is really tough. He eliminates a lot of shots underneath. Wichita really going to have to handle the ball really, really well, and they can't. They've got to stop penetration. I don't know if you guys watched the game with Louisville the other night. Last game, I forget who they were playing. Duke. And Duke did not stop the penetration at all of Siva or the other guy. And they continually ran the same thing every single time, and Duke was just not quick enough. If Wichita's quick enough, does Louisville have enough offense? They probably do. So I think I got to take Louisville. I think it'll be close in what the experts think. I was just looking this morning. 11-point favorite Louisville right now. So I think it'll be a little closer than that, but I've got Louisville winning. But I've got Syracuse winning the next game. And I kind of tell you why. I don't know that McGarry is going to have the success that he's had in the tournament against Syracuse. Of course, you guys know, being around the 1-2-2, it stops a lot of the inside play. Mm-hmm. And McGarry's been their spark, 4 points a game in this tournament or something like that. Right now, they could be calling him the MVP of the NCAA tournament. But can he get those baskets against Syracuse when they're 6'11", 6'9", 6'10", with guys off the bench that jump a whole heck of a lot higher than McGarry does? He's mainly a stocky, beefy guy, left-handed, tough to block, but I don't know if he can score like he has been in the tournament against Syracuse. So I got Syracuse in a close one, of course. Trey Burke will probably hit some big shots. But I think Syracuse zone is just, like Beeline said a couple days ago, you practice against man-to-man pretty much all year. You only get 5 days to practice against this 2-3 zone, so it's pretty tough to prepare for.
Now, how does coaching come to effect here? You know, obviously Jim Boeheim, he's been here before, so he knows the hype and what's going to take place. Does that play a lot into this?
I don't know. I mean, you can say that, and they're probably going to give the coaches a lot of credit. But my feeling is, I don't care. These guys are good coaches. They've been here before. They've gotten their teams here. It takes good players to get there, no matter what kind of coach you get. I don't care if you've got Krzyzewski or Wooden never won without good players. So the players got to do it on the court. You can dial up as much stuff as you want to, but how much stuff does that really take into factor? You know, how much does it really take place when you get out there and the pressure and you forget about, let's just play basketball. So I don't know if the coaching is a big thing. I think they're older guys that have been through the wars, and I think their teams respect them, what they're going to say to give them a few pointers. But all in all, you guys know, big-time players got to make big-time plays in big-time games, and that's generally what wins basketball games.
So you have Louisville, Syracuse in the final. Who wins it all, Josh?
I've got Louisville winning it all in my bracket. I don't have anybody else there in my bracket. That, you know, obviously not a lot of people had Wichita there. Some people probably had Michigan there and possibly Syracuse. But I've got Louisville winning it all. But if they play Syracuse, that'll be a tough game for them because it's hard to penetrate against the zone.
Yeah.
And they've got a couple of shooters, but I don't know that they're a great outside shooting team as Louisville. So if it's my matchup, it's Louisville-Syracuse, I would probably take Louisville because I think they got a better coach. I think they're more disciplined, and I think they'll probably just wear you down. But it would be a really good game of two different styles. One kind of slow down with the zone, and two speed you up with a full-court press.
So didn't you just say that coaching didn't matter, and now you're saying that he has a better coach?
It doesn't matter, but I'm not a big Boeheim fan.
Well, I'm just throwing you under the bus because you're not here.
I like Pitino. I like Pitino just from what he does, the style of play that he has. You know,
and he's got good hair.
What's that?
And he's got good hair.
Yeah. Well, I'm closely approaching his style, so I do like him. But hey, guys, real quick, I know it's been all over the news. I just want to get your thoughts real quick on this Rutgers thing. You know, you watch the replays of this stuff, and what would possess a guy to do stuff like that? And I understand. I'm old school. I'd play for Bobby Knight in a hurry. You know, I'm sure Duncan Reed did some things that probably weren't what you're supposed to do, but what was this guy doing?
I don't know. I'm pretty disturbed and disgusted by it, Josh. And, you know, back then we didn't have all the cell phone cameras with Bobby Knight, and I don't even want to think about what some of the stuff he did. But to see it on tape and to see how he was just, you know, degrading these kids, and as a parent, you're sending these kids off to these universities thinking that they're being taken care of and, you know, being respected and, you know, handled, and that's just uncalled for. And yeah, that was one of the topics I was going to bring up today, and I've never seen anything like it. And, you know, coming from a coaching family background, they're disgusted by it as well, and it's unfortunate. They did the right thing. They fired him. The AD's gone now. Sounds like the president's going to keep his job, but yeah, I'm disgusted by it, and it's just a sorry excuse for a basketball coach.
Yeah, I just don't understand how would you even possess to think about that. I understand you get frustrated. You may throw a ball at a kid in the back when he's not paying attention, or he's repeatedly not paying attention, and you throw him at his feet or something like that. Not Nolan Ryan style, 99 mile an hour. But I'm just saying, hey, get my attention. I understand that point of it, but I remember I watched one of them where they were running a play, and I would assume he was yelling from like half court, and a player was getting ready to start the offense, and just came out like a blindsided tackle and just demolished this guy. And I'm just thinking, I mean, why would? And I'm really surprised that a kid just didn't haul off and go after.
Absolutely, yeah. It's. What do you think, Jake?
To be honest, I watched a little bit about it, and it again, it kind of leaves you speechless. It's one of those things that you can't believe it's still going on. Something like that would go on nowadays because, like you said, with all the cell phones and everything else, and how these kids tweet and everything else, you just think it'd get blown up so quick. But it sounds like, I mean, it's not like it only happened for a week or two.
He needs to go to some anger management classes. Do you think he'll ever get another head job, Josh, again?
No, I don't think so. Obviously, everybody's seen this. Your track record follows you. Everybody wants to say second chance, third chance, but when do you stop giving chances? The guy supposedly had done some things at Robert Morris when he was there, similar to this, not to the extreme. He was big. I understand getting them in the Big Ten, all that kind of thing, but that doesn't mean that, what he did was right. I don't think he'll get another job. He's probably going to look for another profession. If it is, it's years from now where this is all subsided over after 5 years, and possibly he could get something. But the people that would try to hire him would be really questioned about it.
Yeah, you'd be rolling the dice because things like that just don't go away.
Well, and if he does it again, you're in real big trouble because you took a chance on him.
Right.
Him telling you he's okay, a psychiatrist saying, "All right, I'm okay." You just have a lot of maybe more risk than reward by any means.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, to be honest, though, on that hand of it, I don't see it all. I mean, it is different than the Knight situation. I think it's very similar, actually, and I think people do forget because he was at a big program, and if he goes to a smaller school, they may embrace him and say, hey, they want that fire. Maybe their team hasn't been good, and maybe he'll bring up some fire, and after, like you said, 3 or 4 years, maybe they get a sign-off by a shrink or something, and he does get hired. So, I mean, I wouldn't say he's not. In today's society, we forgive pretty quick,
Yeah, I hope he does not, but I'm not saying that he will not.
Yeah.
Is the only thing. Guys, I got to take off here. The young one's getting restless, and I got to get my shin guards on for the soccer game. So take care, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Good. Thanks for calling, Josh.
Go Cubs.
Josh Komnick.
Did he really say go Cubs?
He did say go Cubs. Cubs are 2-2. Okay. I think they might be leading the division right now.
Now second.
Second?
Cincinnati won last night.
Well,
big.
We're going to talk about it while we can. Jake, let's take another commercial timeout. We'll come back, wrap up. We'll talk some baseball.
All right.
And some other issues. If you guys want to call in, 737-3791. You have a sports topic you want us to touch on, give us a call here at the Cheap Seats. Welcome back to the Cheap Seats. Scott Kirby, Jake Johnston, here at Jake's Furnishings. You need some furniture? It's a great day to come out here, and they got a wide selection of recliners, couches, sectionals, bedding, beds. It's, looking around here, you got a warehouse full of stuff. So come out here for all your furniture needs. Jake's.
Come on out and get yourself a new Lazy Boy. Wow, they kick all the way back.
That's Harry Carey there.
Oh my God, sorry. Hey, don't forget, guys, if you want to call in to get some of those free Edge Arena football tickets for next Friday, April the 12th, The number is 648-5510. We don't have that many tickets. I think it's only like 20.
20.
If I'm thinking right. So
yeah.
First come, first serve, guys. All you gotta do is call in, put your name in, and I think you'll have the tickets there, or put them in will call for you, one way or the other.
Call,
so,
yeah.
just call in, give them your name and information, and they'll get you all set up.
Be a good little family outing. Very inexpensive.
Huh.
It's like $5 to park around the stadium. You know,
what you're saying, it's a pretty good time.
It's a great time. Great facility. They put a good product out on the field. They give a lot of things away: shirts, footballs. It's a good time. So get on out there.
Nice.
Mention that you heard this on the cheap seats, and they'll hook you up with some Edge Arena football tickets there in Bloomington, Illinois. Baseball seasons, Jake. Just talking a little bit about it off air. Cubbies 2-2, Cardinals 1-3. We're going to talk about it now while we can.
Good idea for you.
Either team, not really playing real well. Cubs, they're not putting any runs up on the board. They lost to Atlanta last night 4-1.
Yeah.
Pitching's looking pretty solid right now. It's still early in the season, but we're going to talk everything positive right now while we can.
I guess on my side of the road, it's not quite as positive right now with a few more losses than you got. But
yeah, it's
they're actually playing. I mean, they're not playing bad ball. They can't hit Barry Zito, soft throwing lefty, amazing. We haven't hit a soft throwing lefty now for about 7 years, I think. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but he was firing them 83-mile-an-hour batting practice fastballs. It looked like they were coming in about 110.
Well, they are Cardinals. They're out on the West Coast. That's a tough way to start the season.
Real tough. There. Yeah, especially for our Cardinal fans that want to watch the games.
Yeah, and be in bed by midnight.
Oh my goodness, that second or third Arizona game that took 16 innings or something like that. I caught the top of the 16th inning, watched the Cardinals go down. And I said, this game's over. I'm going to bed. Sure enough, the game was over. It was good timing, I guess.
You want to call in? You want to talk some baseball? 737-3791. Baseball going on today out at Curry Field. Mm-hmm. Lincoln High School at the doubleheader versus Pontiac. Let's get out there and support those kids. Great day to play some baseball. Great day to play a doubleheader. As the great Ernie Banks would say, let's play two.
Going around the Major League right now, Washington Nationals had a big loss yesterday, but they are playing up to par. It looks like, especially the front end of the the front end of the rotation is looking really good. Atlanta's right there with them, also up at the top of the division. Then you go into the Central. Cincinnati is looking like beasts right now. I mean, my goodness. Then you go out west. To be honest, Arizona kind of jumping off the bus real quick and getting going. I mean, they're looking good right off the bat, and we'll see. It's obviously real early, but those teams are kind of fun to watch. Right now, Arizona, watching them against Cardinals in the first week, they look like a team that they could have something going for the season. They got good chemistry going. You got my pick was Washington at the beginning of the season, so we'll see how they play out. But it looks like they're going to be tough all year long, as long as they stay healthy, of course. Atlanta is tough from top to bottom. My goodness, those two Upton boys they're scary in the middle of that lineup. And then Cincinnati, I was just telling you, a big surprise for me is Senzu Chu. I was surprised his transformation into National League Baseball. It looks seamless, and it looks like it's a real positive move for him. He looks tough up at the top of their order, which is something they desperately needed. Brandon Phillips definitely was not a leadoff hitter. He definitely is. He gets on base a lot. He will walk. He does whatever it takes. He's a perfect situation hitter. And then on top of that, he can play center field with a really good – he's got a right fielder's arm playing center field.
And yeah, that doesn't fare too well for the Central Division fans, St. Louis, Chicago. And they finally evened out all these divisions with Houston moving over to the American League now. Every division has 5 teams now, where – before, Central Division had 6, and then the American League West had 4.
Correct.
So it's all evened out now. And what that does, there's going to be a interdivision game every week. Kick off the season, I believe it was Cincinnati and Anaheim.
Anaheim, yeah.
Yeah. So every week, there's going to be a, American League versus National League. It's going to be interesting. That'd probably be pretty tough to be the schedule maker to figure all that out and get that all arranged.
Yeah,
but,
I like the idea, though. You kind of get it on a rotating schedule, and I think you get more fans involved that way. I think it may be a real positive move for Major League Baseball. It was definitely fun to see Cincinnati against Anaheim right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
I know that was kind of an interesting matchup. You have, one of my personal favorites, Albert Pujols playing. And playing against, in my opinion, now the best first baseman in the majors, and Joey Votto. That's always kind of a fun matchup for me, I think.
Well, Anaheim, they're pretty stacked too. They got Josh Hamilton, Pujols, spending a lot of money. They just played Texas the other night. Hamilton didn't have a very warming welcome to Rangers Stadium, booing him. It affected his play a little bit. He said it did. Get to him a little bit, but that's what happens when you leave,
Oh yeah, well, when you leave the way
by
he
choice.
Did. I mean, he didn't only leave by choice. He basically was telling them up until the time he signed that I'm giving you guys a last crack at it. Didn't play out that way, which I'm sure the ownership there for Anaheim they make it very difficult for a guy to turn them down. So I'm sure they give him some wording that if this gets out or if they match your offer, we're not going to talk to your agent anymore or something. There has to be something about it, but you can't blame Texas for walking away from a deal like that either. They're being pretty smart about their money, and they have been for a few years now, and they've been winning. So if you're winning the division as many times as they have, why would you change it? Why would you break it open the way he wanted? When you know what kind of talent you have in their system. Texas still has one of the top systems in all Major League Baseball.
Absolutely.
So
and a lot of good pitching still, and pitching will win you ball games.
Well, we actually, something we were just talking about, kind of bringing this up here. You're right, they evened out the divisions, moving Houston to the American League West. Who do you think is going to be better quicker? Houston Astros, Chicago Cubs?
Well, off air I said Houston Astros, just by the simple fact where the Cubs kind of started from scratch, and it's going to probably take them another year or two.
Oh, yeah.
And
honestly, they kind of both did. I mean, actually, Houston's really basically gutted their system, gutted their management twice, really.
Well, once they lost the Killer Bees, that's when they saw their down spiral. Bagwell, Biggio, Berkman. Once that team kind of unraveled and they got older and, dispersed, that's when you saw the downfall of Houston. But it all depends how these young kids develop. They say the Cubs are going about it the right way, getting these young kids, developing them in the farm league, the
farm system.
System. And it all depends, it's all coaching and how they develop. And
that's a big part of it. You got to develop your own kids. And draft properly, and it's very difficult to draft in Major League Baseball. A lot of times, to be honest, it's thrown at a dartboard and hoping you hit something. A lot of teams have been fortunate with it, but there's, the Cardinals back in the 80s. Boy, they were brutal. They weren't you look at how many top draft picks they had. I think they had 3 that made to the major leagues, and it was at the end of the at the end of the 90s when they actually started taking place. So, you can kill a franchise for years just by having 2 or 3 bad drafts.
Right.
And, the Cubs, unfortunately, right now are looking as if maybe a couple of these last 2 drafts aren't going to pan out so well for them. We'll see, though. And the other thing was, we were talking earlier, Houston's going to be getting, looks like a big television contract. If that steps in, that can change everything. You get a contract, you can start spending some extra money.
Right.
All of a sudden, now you got a young nucleus. You throw in some exciting players, maybe a Josh Hamilton type or something like that. All of a sudden, there's new zest going around the clubhouse.
You're talking about drafting. The baseball, how it works, it's really weird, and I don't really quite understand it. You can draft somebody out of college, like a sophomore, junior. Draft them. They don't have to sign with you. And
Correct.
If they do sign, they can go back and play college baseball. So there, you just wasted that first-round draft pick, and they're not helping you out at all. So it's
That's
just kind of
exactly right.
It's weird how that works. I guess as long as they don't have an agent and they don't sign anything, if they decide, well, I don't want to play for that team.
That and signing bonuses are different now. They reworked that to make it basically say, to be honest, it's made it so it's even tougher now because let's say the Cubs, they only get a certain amount of dollars to sign all these draft picks. Well, if they draft a guy and he wants to sign, but he says, I want $4 million, they're going to have to either tell him no, or they're going to have to tell their next 2 or 3 players, we can't sign you. So even if they would be willing to sign on the cheap, they have to pay him. Basically, they don't have to pay him, but more than likely they're going to want a slot amount, and it is slotted now. So, like I said, if you go over, you got to pay the next guy less. So it is a little bit different, and it's kind of an interesting game that they can play. The Cardinals actually drafted a kid that's playing for Stanford right now, Austin Wilson, a couple years ago. Phenomenal talent. And to be honest, he will be a major leaguer, probably not next year, but the following year. The kid's extremely smart. They were going to pay him way above board, but he wouldn't sign with them, because he said, my dad is a professor at Stanford. I'm smart enough to get a academic scholarship at Stanford. I don't need baseball. I'm going to play baseball, but I don't need it. And you do get guys like that are, they think, or they do know a little bit more, and they have options. So it's definitely interesting compared to NFL and basketball as well.
Well, we got St. Louis at San Francisco today, 3:05 game. We got Miller against Vogelsong. It'll be a pretty good matchup there. And you guys just signed Wainwright to a big contract, didn't you? About a 5-year deal,
five-year deal, right at $100 million. I think there is a couple kickers in there, but that matchup you mentioned earlier, Shelby Miller, our top prospect, going out there for his first major league start of this year. Really, I think it's only his second start of his career. I think he had one at the end of last year to clean up duty, But he is an exciting pitcher. So hopefully he has a good debut, playing world champs. So, he's got to be good if they're going to win. But, man, he is an exciting pitcher, man.
Chicago Cubs at Atlanta, 6:10. Villanueva, his first start against Tehran for Atlanta. So tune into those games. Baseball season kicking off.
That'd be a fun matchup for Harry Carey.
Yeah, it would. I can't even pronounce it. You wouldn't be able to pronounce it backwards. So.
All right.
I'd like to thank Josh Comnet for calling in, giving his view on the Final Four weekend. Hope he has a good day out there at the soccer fields. Kurt Courtwright, Lincoln High School baseball coach, came in for interview. They're playing at home against Pontiac, doubleheader today, kicking off at 11. I think that'd do it for us right now. It's about 10 o'clock, so that's going to wrap it up for us. I'd like to thank our listeners for tuning in. As always, thank our sponsors for making this possible. Until next time, myself, Scott Kirby, along with Jake Johnston, the furniture guy, get on out here to Jake's Furnishings and check out their warehouse full of furniture.
Oh, yeah, it's packed in here.
It is. Standing room only. Until next week, thanks for tuning in to the Cheap Seats on 96.3 and WLCN online.com.
Good day.